It's okay.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept our humble obeisances. All glories to Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada. All glories to our revered speaker for today, His Grace ISVARA Das Prabhu. And all glories to our servant Vaishnava devotees. We thank you all for being here as always. Today is a very beautiful day. It's Tuesday, and it's the 9th day of the 9th month, which is interesting, 2025. And it is always a great honor to have His Grace ISVARA Prabhu be with us. There were a few days Prabhuji was not speaking, but he joined because there were some beautiful speakers. I believe he wanted to be there presently. So that was beautiful. Prabhu, I think we have two verses we're covering today. 29, let me see. Yeah, 29 and 30. So we may put the verse on the screen and then you may start. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, 29 and 30, they are both related.
Yes, very much.
Just open my notes.
Yeah.
Right. Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Radharamana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Gurave Gurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Bhaktayo Namo Namaha Narayana Namaskritya Narayachava Narotaman Devam Sarasatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudiraye Nasapayesha Badrisu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Tamas Loke Bhakti Prabhati Naistiki Vede Ramane Chaiva Purane Bharatu Tata Adhyanthamadi Chahari Savita Giyate Mukam Kartibachalam Pangulang Gayate Gri Yakripataham Bande Sri Guru Dinatarine Paramananda Madhava Dhamma Prajitu Katavuta Paramoni Masham Satan Vedam Vastavam Matabasu Shivadan Tapatayo Molana Shima Bhagavate Mahamuni Kitanki Vaipara Ishvara Sadhyo Ridi Aburidi Chitakitipita Krishanan Nigama Kapatalu Galitan Palam Sukamukatavasam Buton Pibata Bhagavatam Rasamalaya Mahura Urasika Bhuvibahuka Yashava Yashramanayam Krishna Paramapurushe Bhakti Utapati Punsa Sukamoa Bhayapaha Atoyam Brahma Sutranam Bharatata Vininaya Gayati Basharu Poso Vedata Paribrimita Saviditya Sanam Saram Saram Paribrimita Sababida Tvam Saran Mesi Bhagavatam Vishyati Tarasamitasya Tiptasya Nayatyasya Ratikutin Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nadanayacha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Nama Vasudeva Sutandeva Kansachanuramadanam Devaki Paramananda Krishna Bandi Jagaguru Namamo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pistaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namini Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharini Nivise Sunyavadi Pashachada Dishatarini Vanchakapatruvyas Kripasunjibhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanabhebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Mahavedanyaya Krishna Prima Padayate Krishna Ya, Krishna Chaitanya, Namiri Ghoratuse Namaha. Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhara Siva Shadi Gaura Bhakta. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So I'm happy to be back here on the Hare Krishna Africa Zoom platform. At this next, is it 3 years now, 4 years now? It's been going on. How many years now?
Yeah, it's over 4 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Since
By
the COVID.
Krishna's grace.
Yeah, since the COVID time.
Yes.
So it's one of the good things that COVID brought. It ushered in it's communication, online communication, Zoom, which is good. So like last week, I was very busy last week. For 5 days, I was giving a seminar at the Bhagavatam 10 Canto. I covered like 20 chapters in 5 days. In 10 Canto Bhagavatam. A lot of attendance, of course. So today we are dealing with a very, very important topic. It had to do with Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma's own creation after he's created, and then he became infatuated with his own creation in the form of sex life. So we're going to go through that. So I guess today's verse is 2 verses, 29 and 30. Third Canto, chapter 12, text 29 and text 30. So first we recite the verse, and then we go through the translation of Prabhupada. Tamadame kita Martin Bilokya Pitaram Sutta Marichi Mukya Munayo Bishambat Pratyabodayam. Let's see, open it here. I don't have, okay, you have it here. Tam unto him, Adame, in the matter of immortality. Adame, immortality should be immorality, not nothing. There's a typo error here. It should be immorality, not immortality.
Yes.
Kitamatin, the mind being so given, we look here, seeing thus, Pitaram unto the Father, we look here, okay, Sutta, sons, Marichi, Mukhya, Marichi Mukhya, from the mouth of Marichi, headed by Marichi, from their mouth. Mukhya means from the mouth. I don't know why they miss so many word for word meanings here. Munaya sages, Vishwambat, with due respect, Patyabodayam, submitted as follows. Translation and purpose by His divine grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Thus, finding their father so deluded in an act of immorality, the sages headed by Marichi, all sons of Brahma, spoke as follows with great respect. Purport. The sages like Marichi were not in the wrong in submitting their protests against the acts of their great father. They know very well that even though their father committed a mistake, there must have been some great purpose behind the show. Otherwise, such a great personality could not have committed such a mistake. It might be that Brahma wanted to warn his subordinates about human frailties in their dealings with women. This is always very dangerous for persons who are on the path of self-realization. Therefore, great personalities like Brahma, even when in the wrong, should not be neglected. Nor could the great sages, headed by Marichi, show any respect because of his extraordinary behavior. This is lot of very important thing. There's a lot of lesson in these short purports. Main thing is that the sons, when Brahma, when one of his creation, actually, because being the original person, is the original person in the universe, the first being who has no origin. Actually, sometimes it's called Vidi, somebody who has no origin, but his origin is Lord Vishnu, was born from the top of the lotus flower that generated from the abdomen of Lord Vishnu. So sometime Brahmaji, was said to be has no parent, but he has parent because his father is Lord Vishnu. Just like when he was praying to Lord Krishna when he was praying to Lord Krishna, after stealing Lord Krishna's friends and cows and put them in the mystic sleep, thinking that you could, because I wanted to see what Lord Krishna will do, because the Lord had been playing with all his friends in the forest. So Brahmaji thought that he could create a disturbance by creating some kind of illusion for the Lord. But ultimately, it was he who became deluded by his own actions. So, and then Brahmaji was praying to Lord Krishna for forgiveness. So he was saying that, my dear Krishna, my dear Lord, I was born from the abdomen of Lord Vishnu, Lord Narayan, and this Narayan is your expansion. So because Lord Narayan is your expansion, and I come from the abdomen of Narayan, so therefore, you are my father. Therefore, I'm your son. So in one sense, you cannot be angry with me that I've done this, I've taken away all your friends and cows and all that. So you cannot be angry with me. As they say that a mother, no matter what a child does to the mother never gets angry. So Brahmaji wanted to, even though Brahma is When he was praying to Krishna, he was huge. Brahman was big. It's like his height, his unimaginable height. Whereas Krishna, in his Lila Vrindavan, he was just a small boy, 6-year-old boy, very small. So that here this big person bow down, pay his dandava to this small boy, and telling him that, oh Krishna, you are my father. So it's it's kind of humorous situation. So Brahmaji is the first created being. He's the first person. So he's called a creator. So he created all these various entities. He created all the sages headed by the Kumaras. Then the many rishis like Maharishi, Kashyapa Muni, Kadama Muni, many of them that he created. So that these persons can also populate the universe. And among these created beings was a female, Vak. Vak means speech. That's speech. And some say it's Mother Saraswati. Yeah, Saraswati, after all, the person who's in charge of all knowledge is Saraswati Devi. She's in charge of all the knowledge. If you want to be if you want to be a learned person, then you should worship Saraswati if you want to be a learned person. So this Saraswati or Vak, which means speech, for some reason, Brahmaji became infatuated by her, even though it's supposedly his own daughter, and they became infatuated by her. And then they started running after her, started chasing her. Of course, she was saying, no, 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 no. It was hiding herself, saying, no, 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 no. But still, Brahmaji was very mad, was going after her. So in this case, then the great sages, they had to speak up. That, dear father, this does not become you. Because being the person who was the custodian of religious principles, the custodian of morality, and the one who will teach all others in the universe about the principle of religion, about the principles of Dharma. So how could this be? So this verse specifically said, Tam Adamo Kitara, why engaging in this irreligious act, immoral act? Tan Adame Kitamatin. Why engage in this immoral act of chasing your own daughter? So many things to be learned. Now, in the Sanatan Dharma, or those who are following the eternal principles of of religion, it means to, because the difference between this what they call it, Paradharma and Aparadharma. There's a temporary religion, there's an eternal religion. An eternal religion, or Sanatan Dharma, is what meant to give us liberation from this material world. But Brahmaji is the guru, is a spiritual master. Because he's been the first person, and the Lord himself, he taught Brahmaji, because the Lord is the first guru. And the Brahmaji in turn will have to teach all others, including all the great sages that are manifested from him. So I said that it is a very pivotal, and also very perplexing episode in the realm of Sanatana Dharma. That how could this happen? This Lord Brahma's attraction to his own daughter. What could be the cause of this? So this verse says, "Tan adame kita Martin, Viloka param sutta marichi, Moka mono yubishamba patia bodayam." So when they saw their fathers doing this, his mind turned to irreligion. And he's the father of religion. So, but for some reason, his mind turned to irreligion. So his sons, who are the great sages, headed by Marichi, they respectfully offered him counsel. Which means if a great person, if for some reason there's a problems in their, let's say, in their pursuit of religion, in their pursuit of spirituality, and then a great person all of a sudden have some difficulty, all of a sudden. Now, the civilized persons, those spiritual, civilized individuals, they will not just neglect such a person. They will not just laugh at such a person that, oh, okay, now he has fallen now, let's not turn our back against him. That is irresponsible life. So now it's up to those who may be subordinate to that person to bring their superior back to the track. Just like one time when one devotee, when one sannyasi actually in the movement fell down, one sannyasi fell down. And then the devotees, they started criticizing him. So Prabhupada was very furious. Prabhupada said, how could you be doing this? Now, what you've done now, it's not going to come back to the movement. It's going to leave and not come back. What have you done? So Prabhupada was not happy the fact that when a spiritual leader, have problems, and then everybody simply go and criticizing the person. Those who are really intelligent, they want to find the proper way to, bring the person back to the right path. So with a great respect, we respectfully, which means honoring. He's actually happened to be the Brahmaji is their father and also their spiritual master. So honoring him with great respect, so they are approaching in a very humble manner. He was approaching in a very humble manner. And then in order to give proper counsel. Now we have to know that the sex life actually, why we in the material world, and when we stay in the material world, because of sex life, was a Kama Viru de Bute, so location said it's a Kama Viru de Bute. No, Dharma Brude Viru de Bute was a Kama Simparatus. So location said in this material world, everyone is enamored by this sex life. Everyone is enamored by it. One time, one of King of India, one time, this was King Akbar. he had a minister. His name was called Biber. Biber was the name of his minister. And this minister was very, very intelligent person. He knows all the principles of Dharma, very highly intelligent. So this minister will always give the counsel to the king. So one time, the king asked him that at what time, what point in time does a person become free from sex life? At one point in time does a person start thinking of sex life? What point? At what point? So Biba replied, it's no point in time. No point in time will a person start thinking of sex life. And the king was surprised. He said, even up to the time of death, the minister say yes, even up to the time of death, a person will still be thinking of sex life. So the king was having trouble to believe this. He was having trouble to accept that even a person will be thinking of sex even up to the point of death. So then the minister said, okay, let us go to the hospital. Let us go to the hospital to go and see all the sick people. Let's go to the hospital. And as we are going, please take one of your daughters with you. Take one of your beautiful daughters with you. Together, we all go to the hospital together. So the king agreed, and then the king, Biba, and then the beautiful daughter of the king. So they all went to the hospital. So they went to a room where a very, very old person was lying on the bed, on the verge of death. He was lying on the bed, very, very sickly person. So they entered the room. All the three of them, the king, Biba, and then the daughter. So the king was asking the old man, very, very sick old man, about, okay, how are you doing? How's your feeling? How's everything? This. How's everything? Trying to give some kind of comfort into this sick old person. But what happened was that this sick person, he was simply looking at the daughter of the king. His eye was gazed upon the daughter of the king. His eye was, he was not even paying attention to the king. Wow, such an important king, asking me a question. His eye was fixed on the daughter of the king, which he could not even enjoy. But his eye was fixed on them. So Biba told the king, he said, you see what I told you? That even up to the time of death, a person will keep thinking of sex life, will not stop thinking of sex life, even up to the time of death. Because that's how the material world, that's how the Maya Devi, that's how she binds every living entity. And all the endeavors of man, all the what man want to achieve, it's all because of satisfaction of sex life. So therefore, I mentioned that this incident is not to be understood in a very literal way. So human sense, but rather as a profound allegory with deep philosophical and cautionary significance. So this is a very, very, very complex episode. So we have a lot of scriptural citations which talks about this. the sex life. So now it says that at its core, this episode actually serves as a stark warning about the overwhelming power of Maya. It's the overwhelming power of Maya, the illusory energy of the Lord, which governs this material world. Even Lord Brahma, the creator of the universe, who's the embodiment of Vedic knowledge, could momentarily fall prey to its influence. Say, Brahmaji, he has four heads. And those four heads, they are deep intelligence. Another meaning of Brahma is Brahma, and it also means somebody who's such with spiritual knowledge, deeply spiritual knowledge. But somehow this momentary lapse came into it. So there is a purpose for everything. There's a purpose for everything. So this is actually illustrate that no one in this world, regardless of their piety or position, is immune to the seductive allure of sensual desires. No one is immune to it. Just like, this Brahmaji, his daughter, Saraswati, or Vak, in this goddess of learning or goddess of speech. So she represents the pinnacle of Brahma's own creation. So his attraction to her symbolizes the creator becoming infatuated with his own creation. So it's a metaphor for the soul's entanglement in the material world, that it's meant to be transcended. So unless the living entity transcends this thing, this attraction to sex, attraction to sensual desires, then one will simply remain in some repeated cycle, samsara, birth after birth, after birth, after birth. So this story especially, which is in there, is there, not just in Bhagavatam, it's also there in the various Puranas. A few Puranas actually also talks about this story. Even though there may be different the ways repeated, it talk about in a slightly different ways. But the central theme, of course, is Lord Brahma's infatuation with his daughter. And then, of course, he became remorse to that. So here in Bhagavatam, which we are reading now, so from 28 to 34, they said that is the most cited version. So whereby it explicitly states that Brahma's mind was agitated by the sex desire upon seeing his beautiful daughter. But his sons, the great sages, immediately intervened, pointing out the gravity of his transgression. So now, later on, as we're going to learn later on, that Brahmaji became, so he realized what he has done. So he became regretful of that. So he became ashamed of that situation. So, and then eventually, then he gave up that body. He gave up that particular body, which then became manifest as fog or mist. It became manifested as fog or mist. This is a symbol of ignorance in this material world. And then there's also the Matsya Purana, This event is also mentioned in the Matsya Purana. So this text also narrates the story and emphasizes Brahma's immediate infatuation, and it details how he developed multiple heads to continuously gaze upon her beauty as she tried to evade his advances. So he mentioned that Brahmaji, he developed many by looking around here and there. Then he has so many heads. Of course, our Brahma has four heads. And then also mentioned that it's also mentioned in the Shiva Purana also that when Lord Shiva, when he saw what Brahmaji was doing, and he saw that Lord Brahma was chasing his own daughter, so Lord Shiva became very angry. It actually said that how Shivaji, how uh, he cut off the head of Brahmaji. So that's explaining some of the narration. But here we stick to what is in the Bhagavatam. So now, many authorities, many great masters. So they've made different commentaries on this episode of Bhagavatam. And they've all offered the profound insights that can help unravel the esoteric meaning behind this event. So there's a meaning to everything. There's a meaning to everything. Because bad things do not just happen to great persons ordinarily. When bad things happen to a great person, there's always a purpose behind it. There's always a teaching behind it. When bad things happen to the great persons. One, a lesson in humility. So this incident served to humble even the most elevated beings. It teaches that the path of spiritual advancement is fraught with peril and requires constant vigilance. If Brahma could be momentarily swayed, what to speak of ordinary mortals? Just imagine. Can we actually say to the point that, oh, I am so great, I am so advanced that I can never be overcome by Maya? Actually, there's a very good story which I could tell. Maybe I will defer this story later on. How a great person, no matter how very highly spiritual, advanced person, how they cannot become infatuated by Maya. And Maya is represented by sex desire. I think when Lord Kapila was teaching his mother that my illusory energy is represented by the form of a woman. So therefore, who can ever overcome her? And then the potency of lust. So this story also highlights that lust is one of the most formidable obstacles on the spiritual path. It can cloud the judgment of even the most learned and powerful individuals. Brahma's temporary lapse serves as a timeless cautionary tale for all spiritual aspirants. So which means rather than just us pointing finger to a highly spiritual advanced person who might have experienced fall down, rather than we pointing finger at them, it should serve us as a lesson that, oh, if this can happen to this person, Hey, but me, can this not happen to me also? So therefore, the great devotees, they always pray that, my dear Lord, please do not let me, I pray to you, protect me from the influence of your Maya. Protect me from the influence of your material energy. They always pray. Just like one time, I think Prabhupada was very, very reflective at one time. So devotee asked him that, Prabhupada, what are you thinking? Why are you so sober, reflecting? So Prabhupada said, well, I am simply meditating on the Lord. I'm simply praying to Krishna that I do not fall into Maya, that I do not become a victim of material energy. And devotee say, oh, Prabhupada, no, that Maya can never touch you, Prabhupada, not you. You're such a pure beauty of God. But Prabhupada said, no, you don't know anything. Maya can touch anyone at any point. So therefore, devotees remain prayerful all the time, not to succumb to the influence of Maya. So therefore, how do we become free from Maya's influence? What is the safety? What is the safety net? What is the safety net? There has to be sadhu sangha, association with saintly personality. So that's the importance of saintly association. So the immediate and respectful intervention of Brahma's sons, the Kumaras and other sages, underscores the critical role of righteous association, satsanga. Because a saintly person are those personalities who remain one's well-wisher as always. A saintly person will never judge you, will never criticize you. Even though you may be full of faults, you may be full of anarthas, but a saintly person will always find a way to bring you to the right path. So therefore, the timely counsel, so it helped Brahma to realize his folly and rectify his cause. So this emphasizes that surrounding oneself with spiritually elevated individuals provides a crucial support system in navigating the challenges of the material world. You see. Of course, divine lila, divine pastime, it has a purpose. So, like some have interpreted this episode as a kind of a divine lila, divine play, orchestrated to teach a vital lesson to the inhabitants of the universe. So in this view, Brahma's actions were not the result of genuine ignorance, but a deliberate enactment to demonstrate the dangers of material attachments and the importance of self-control. So in a sense, the story of Lord Brahma's attraction to his daughter is not a simplistic tale of divine misconduct, but a multi-layered allegorical narrative. So it serves as a powerful reminder of the insidious nature of Maya, the imperative of self-control, and the indispensable role of spiritual guidance on the part of self-realization. So just like now, we know that there are sons of Marichi. So Marichi was the son of Brahma, and he had 6 sons, but Marichi. So when Brahmaji was apparently chasing his daughter. So these sons of Marichi, they laugh. They were laughing at Brahma. It's like, oh, Brahmaji, chasing his own daughter. What is this? They will laugh, criticizing. So as a result of that, they got great punishment because of that. And what was their punishment? They had to take birth. They had to take birth. And they were killed by cancer. The six sons of Marichi, they were the one who took birth in the womb of Devaki, the mother of Krishna. They took birth in the womb of Devaki, and then one after the other they were killed as they took birth as baby infant. They were killed by cancer. Immediately they were born. They were killed by. So that was their punishment. They had to face. They had to get the chastisement. So that is the thing, that no one is above allurement of Maya. No one's above that. And actually, many parts in the Bhagavatam, especially when we hear the teachers of Lord Kapila, he specifically said that sex life is so great that one should not even stay in the same room with one's daughter or mother, just imagine, or sister, that one should not stay in the same room with one's mother or sister or daughter. That's how sex like is so strong. The sexual attraction is so strong. How can we say that, oh, come on, what's with my daughter, with my sister, with my mother, daughter, sister? That's coming. That's ridiculous. How can a person, how can even such a suggestion be made, that how can I be attracted to my mother or my sister or my daughter? But scriptures say that sex attraction is so strong that the scripture forbid ones to be in the same situation, in the same room with one's mother, father, or sister, mother, daughter, sister. That's true. I mean, if we fall here in many stories are there, how this ridiculous situation, ridiculous scandals between, incest. Yeah, we hear that we hear about incest all the time. All the time we hear about incest all the time. It's not because somebody simply have a twisted mind, so therefore it's engaging in insects, not just because twisted mind. And of course, material world means we have twisted mind due to ignorance. But this being this intimate environment with one's, it might have been an intimate environment with with the close relations. It's not recommended by the Shastra. As they say, a man is like butter. A man is like butter, and a woman is like fire. So when there's a close relation with each other, there is the some melting will be there. Some melting will be there when you bring the butter, when you bring fire close to the butter. A man is like butter, So therefore, spiritual life is very, very serious thing that one has to always be careful. And as I mentioned it before, that The best way to prevent this is to always having a very strong association with saintly devotees. This once you have a saintly association, he said, Sata Prasangam, Mama Via Sam Vido, Bhavantiri Kana, Rasayana Kata, Tajosana, Apavagavat Mani Sudarati Bhaktana Komisyati, that devotees of the association with one another, they always talking about Krishna, releasing Krishna Kata with each other. And because such talks is very, very sweet to hear, Rasayana Kata, very, very sweet to hear. So what happened is that all the nasty things of this world, one can actually get rid of it. So which means sex life can be eradicated simply by being in the saintly association, because by being in saintly association, one's relationship with the Lord develops, one's love of God develops. Because when you develop love for Krishna, then ultimately you give up the taste for the enjoyment of this material world. Because one is higher taste and one is lower taste. What's that famous word study in the Gita? What is that? Visaya, what's that? That verse that by developing the higher taste, the lower taste, one give up the lower taste. But how do you get the lower higher taste? By being in the saintly association. So I just read the next verse, which is the text 30. Na itapuvai kitam tuadye, na kadishyanti chapare, ya strandi taram gache, anigriyat anigriyangajam Prabhu. So this is the son of Brahmaji was what they are saying. Oh Brahma, oh Father, this performance in which you are endeavoring to complicate yourself was never attempted by any other Brahma, nor by anyone else, nor by you in previous kalpas, nor will anyone dare to attempt it in the future. You are the supreme being in the universe. So how is it that you want to have sex with your daughter and cannot control your desire? Brahmaji, the supreme being in the universe. So they are, these great sages, they are talking with a great intelligence. That this act is never done before, was not attempted before. Which means unheard of. It's unheard of that such a great personality, not an ordinary person, being promoted, not an ordinary person. He is the Jaga Guru, the spiritual master of the whole universe. The spiritual master of the whole universe. So in the purposeless purpose, the post of Brahma is the supermost post in the universe. And it appears that there are many Brahmas and many universes besides the one in which we are situated. One who fills this post must be ideal in behavior, for Brahma sets the example for all living entities. Brahma, the living entity, who is the most pious and spiritually elevated, is entrusted with a post next to that of the personality of Godhead. So the post of Brahmaji is something that is very, very highly elevated, out of one become Brahma. Normally, the most qualified person in the universe, the most highly qualified, most pious person, the most thoroughly religious person in the universe become Brahma. Which means it's not, because being Brahma means to be next to God himself. Being Brahma means to be next to God. He mentioned that of all 64 qualities of Godhead, Brahmaji has 55 of those qualities. 64 qualities. We the living entities, we have up to 50 qualities, but to this particular percentage. And then Brahmaji has 55 qualities. And then Lord Shiva has 60 qualities. All the Vishnu form, 55, 60. Vishnu form, they have 60 qualities. Then the Lord himself, the full 64. He said, actually, Brahmaji has 50 qualities. Lord Shiva has 55 qualities. Lord Vishnu has 60 qualities. And then Lord Krishna has the full 64 qualities. Now, is the percentage. The percentage, what differentiates we honor living entities to Brahmaji is the percentage of those qualities, those 50 qualities. Is I think something around 60-something percent. Lord Shiva has up to 84%. And is the quality that represent that. But Brahma, to be a Brahma, there has to be the most highly qualified person in the universe. And if no such person exists, then the Lord himself become Brahma. He himself become Brahmaji if there can not be any such qualified person to assume that post. So the Brahma's sons, headed by Marichi, they were saying that this act of yours it's never been done by any Brahma before. So which means they are aware of many other, because Brahma is a post, not a name, is a post. Just like the names like Indra is a post. Also, Shivaji is also a post. But honorary person under it limited do not become Shiva, because Shiva is as good as God himself. But honorary person, limited can become Brahmaji. It's a different thing. So because the topmost person, the most religious, the most spiritually advanced person become Brahmaji. So this very, very act of falling into sex life, having this sexual pursuit, has never been done Brahmaji before. Even Brahma because normally Lord Brahma, he lives for billions and trillions of years, and he has many creations. Each day of Brahmaji is 8.4 billion years of our time. And every day of Brahma, there's a new creation. There's a new creation every day of Brahma. But in none of Brahma's creation had ever been this kind of thing whereby Brahmaji become infatuated by his own daughter. Nor will this ever happen in the future. So this is what the sons are saying, that this will never happen in the future. So they're very, very sober about it. They are not condemning their father. We have to know that. They are not condemning their father. And you know that many of us, when there is a leading devotee has some difficulty, And then we started talking, we started making so many meetings about this person. Having so many bad things to say about that person. But this is not indicative of a healthy spiritual life. We criticize someone, not really criticize. We talk to someone, we correct someone's bad behavior for correction, to correct that person. To correct that person, that's how we find a way to talk to the person who may be superior to us. Normally, if somebody is just junior to us, and of course, compassionately, we can chastise the person to correct the person. We don't chastise to point finger to put the person down. No, we chastise to bring the person up, basically. If you look at so many Prabhupads, if you read in all the Prabhupads, many biographies are there, whereby Prabhupada, he had experienced so many of his disciples falling down. But Prabhupada never criticized them. He never criticized them. And then there was something happened one time. This was during the time of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta. So devotees, they were preaching in one part of India. They were preaching, and then they constructed one temple. They constructed one temple, and in order to open this temple, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta was supposed to come to inaugurate this temple opening. But it so happened that the leading devotees, who was actually instrumental to make everything happen, the preaching, the temple construction, everything like that, for some reason, he had a fall down. He had a fall down with a woman. And then when he had a fall down, so all his god brothers, they all criticizing him. What he has done, oh, that this is so bad. This is very, very bad. You be at all, your disappointment to our Guru Maharaj. So they were criticizing him so heavily. So this devotee became very, very disheartened. He became very, very, sad, morose. So he left the temple. He left. So and started, living on his own. He left the temple. So and then Srila Bhaktisiddhanta come for the temple opening, temple inauguration. So when he arrived, and then he asked for this devotee. Where is he? Where is this devotee? And then devotee said, oh, he has done this, he has done that, this, he went to sex life, this and that. Now, so we chastised him, and then he went away, he left. He had gone, he had left, he had gone away. So when Srila Bhaktisiddhanta heard this, he was very, very unhappy. He said, oh, what have you all done? So therefore, I am leaving. I'm not going to stay. I'm not going to stay for it. I'm leaving. I'm leaving. Because it takes so much effort to make someone a devotee. It takes so much effort to make someone a devotee. One of the famous sayings of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta is that one has to be ready to shed at least 8 gallons of blood in order to convince someone to become a devotee. And then because of something, you cause him to leave, to go away back to the material world. So therefore, you don't have compassion. So therefore, I am leaving, I'm going back. And the devotee, they started begging the Guru Maharaj, started praying to Guru Maharaj to please to forgive their offenses. And the Slabashina told them that the only way I will stay is if you go find these devotees and bring back this devotee. You have to bring him back. That's the only way I will open this temple. I inaugurate this temple. So devotees, they have to go back to town. They have to go to town and search for these devotees. So somehow they find him, and then they all pay their obeisances to him. They pay their obeisances to him that please forgive us for criticizing you, that our Guru Maharaj want you to come back. So they prayed to this devotee, begging him. And this devotee started crying. He said, "Oh, my dear grandmother, when I left, simply I've been crying. That what I've done, what I've done is not good. I will simply be crying what I've done. So because he had become regretful of his situation, of his position, because he had become regretful, but feeling shame, he could not go back to the association of devotees. But Guru Maharaj himself had come because Guru Maharaj did not see the fault. So this devotee came back and fell at the lotus feet of Guru Maharaj Accidental, fell at the lotus feet, begging for forgiveness of his lapse, of what he has done. So in this way, so this episode of Premaji, in terms of him, going after his sex life and his daughter, is described to be momentary lapse only. Because after Brahmaji, he will come to the realization that, oh, this is not good. How can I teach the universe? As they say, a teacher has to be very exemplary. A teacher has to be exemplary. An acharya means one who preaches what he practices. That's what is an acharya. That's what we call prachar, and that's what we call achara. Achara and prachar. Achara means behavior, that's prachar. And the prachar means to preach. So prachar and achara, both must harmonize. Both must harmonize. So one cannot be a guru unless it's properly behaved. Like one of the purports, I think this purpose in the first canto Bhagavatam, Prabhupada said that unless one is free from sex life, sex gratification, all the meat eating, unless one is free, then one should not dare to sit on the VSSM, unless one is free from all the breaking of regulatory principle. One should not dare to sit on the VSSM. So one has to be exemplary in order to be a spiritual leader. An hypocrite cannot be a spiritual leader. And of course, an hypocrite, that's what they do anyway. Because why? Because they have no shame. An hypocrite have no shame. So even though they are full of bad quality, full of lust, they still go about becoming so-called gurus. Because they have no shame. And such persons, they are the ones that create bad situation for this world. Such persons. So I'm going to stop here. If anybody have any question, you can please go ahead. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, as always. Lots of stories, lots of lessons, especially from the purport, the purports, especially the 29th purport. Yeah. It's very, very interesting and full of lessons. Well, dear devotees, we thank you as always. And if you may have questions, comments, reflections, realizations, Okay. Ananda Nidalam Prabhu, please you may unmute. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, please, I beg to offer my humble obeisances.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much for this wonderful lecture. So, Prabhu, my question is, in fact, I have a couple of questions. But in which of the yoga did this pastime happen? If you can brief me on.
This is the beginning of creation. This is right from the beginning. That's the beginning of creation itself. When Brahmaji, when he was creating all the sages, different sages, like this chapter is dealing with the creation of like the Kumaras, different sages like that. So is this right at the beginning? So the particular kappa itself is not set up, but because there's so many, because every creation has a particular kappa. So this is right from the beginning, which means long period of time, millions and billions of years ago. So it means in this particular creation, we are in the seventh manner. We're in the seventh manner, and each manner stayed for like 71 million years. Yeah. Is it 71 million? No. 300 something million years each manner. 300 something millions of our time. So we are in the seventh manner, and there are 14 manners in one day of Brahma, 14 manners in one day of Brahma. So we are in the seventh one. So it's a long period of time. And our Brahma now is 50 years old now. The current Brahma is 50 years old. So it's 50 years old, and creation, there's what kappa. Kappa means one day of Brahma is called one kappa. That's one day of Brahma. So you can just imagine, which means you can't just this. I think if you use calculator, your calculator will break. Your calculator will break if you don't use a calculator. So
it's like 365 times 50.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah.
It's trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions. It's a long period of time.
Okay, Prabhu. Okay, thank you.
So
Prabhu,
yeah.
okay, if that's the case, when this incident happened, Brahma was not deposed. He still remained at post. So in our dear movement, of course, it is said that in this age of Kali, it's forbidden for one to become a sannyasi. But of course, for preaching sake, all devotees take sannyasi in order to preach. So in our dear movement, when this incident happened, with this knowledge, why is it that we don't such people does not remain as sannyasis? Or I don't know how is it done actually. So I would like you to brief me. So when something of that nature happen in our dear movement, how is such kind of a person treated? Does he still remain as a sannyasi or whosoever he is, or he has to be removed from whatever position he was holding at the time? I would like to know. Hare Krishna.
Now we see when the sages went to Brahmaji and they pleaded with him that this is an immoral act. This does not become you. This does not befit your position. So Brahmaji, he became aware because the great sages were actually his own sons. They are very, very pure themselves. So by virtue of their purity, and as they were approaching, their purity and sincerity when they're approaching, So Brahmaji became aware and became ashamed of that situation. And then he gave up that body. He actually gave up that body. And that body became fog, mist. It's there in the Bhagavatam. It's there as in the later verses you're gonna read that. So Lord Brahmaji gave up that body. So if someone in the leadership position, let's say is a sannyasi, and then things, something like that happen, which actually happen all the time. Now, of course, now when Brahmaji gave her that body, now still remain Brahmaji, of course, because after all, it's not that because he's the one, he's a Brahman. Nobody can take his position. It's not that another Brahman was appointed. Nobody can take. He simply gave that particular body, gave it up, and then assume another body, so he can replace his body. So he can replace his body, because that's what it is. That body was bad. So okay, he gave it up, and then he simply put on another body. So he could do that because the creator. So something happened in our society. We've always say, I mean, just like this year alone, we've had so many big time sannyasis who have succumbed to this kind of sex life. Now, we should not blast them. We should not damn them. But it's up to the society leadership have to appeal to them that this situation is unbecoming, it's not good. So normally, such persons, they have to step aside. They have to step aside. That because what they have done does not befit their particular position of being a sannyasi or something. Does not fit it. So therefore, it's very incumbent for them to give it up. Now, and after some time, they can again, after realization and after a lot of reflection, they can again resume the position. The position can be resumed later on, because we've had so many persons, even though if they were previously sannyasis, then they fell down. And then after a period of time, they became reflective. And then again, they become sannyasi again. So, of course, this very rarely is. It's very rarely done in ISKCON. But the main things that devotees have to be well-wisher. Because if you see someone in a leadership position falling down in a particular role, but we have to be very compassionate upon that person. We have to think of if this can happen to this person, but me, this can also happen to me also. So at the same time, the person, because we have organization to run, and organization to run has to be based on the setting examples for the world to follow. So therefore, if you're like a sannyasi or something, and you find yourself being attracted to whatever, to lower mode of life, then you have to give it up. You have to give up that particular role. Otherwise, it does not look good for the world. It's not good for the preaching movement. Preaching movement is meant for people to become perfect, how to attain perfection. So therefore, a leading preacher has to be an ideal person, has to be an ideal, who can set up an ideal character and an ideal role. So that's the main thing. And now if we refuse to do that, then, and we simply want to defend this, okay, you want to kick me out? I'm just going to start my own movement. So you're just being hypocrite. That's an hypocrite will do that. Whereas a real devotee, somebody who's sincere, will want to take advantage of the association. That, yeah, this has happened to me. Let me take advantage of association of devotees. So that's just it. I hope is that clear to you?
Yes, Prabhu. I don't want to capture
don't point fingers. Don't point fingers. That's the thing. Don't say, oh, look at it now, it's falling down, but don't do that. Because you will fall down yourself if you do that. You will fall down if you do that. So therefore, don't point finger, don't criticize. If you see a leading devotees having some spiritual problem, do not criticize. That's all. If you cannot help that person, or if you're not in the position to help that person, then simply mind your own business. Chant your own nicely. Just chant your own and keep on with your own bhakti. But do not, having some, seminars of how all this and that. No, don't be. It's just that's occurred. And in that moment, I know that this is some of the mistakes we've been making for a long period of time, and we have many devotees who have made so much significant role, play a lot of significant role to the society, to the organization, and then they have problems, and then we talk about them, and then they go away, and then they never come back. So we made lots of mistakes like that in our organization. But devotees have to be, more and more, be more internally, be more mature. That yes, bad things can always happen to good people. So bad things can happen to good people, but don't let us make it worse. When bad things happen to good people, don't let us make things worse for those good people. Okay? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Another Nidam, thank you for those intelligent questions, and Shrimani Shara Prabhu, thank you for the answers. I feel very much exonerated today from your class, because there was a time I unknowingly got myself in big trouble, because a guru, a very good standing guru in our precious movement, had said that if his disciples do not complete their 16 rounds before 7 a.m. 7 o'clock in the morning, 7 a.m., or if they receive a call on their phone while chanting, he will disown such a disciple. Mm-hmm. And I said, it's very difficult to make somebody a devotee. So I think that would be too, how should I say, harsh for disowning this person, this disciple. Everybody is trying. It's not so easy for most of us to sit down in one sitting and complete our 16 rounds. So I said that, and I got schooled and scolded, which I'm not very much worried about those. But I'm very happy to hear you say and share the compassion of our acharyas. How Bhaktisiddhanta was not prepared to listen to anything the disciples were saying until they brought that particular devotee back. There was one devotee who was also sharing pastimes of Srila Prabhupada, and he was saying that one of Prabhupada's disciples had left, and he had actually broken all the principles. He was eating meat. And one day, there was a big program, and this devotee came around, and nobody wanted to get close to him. And Srila Prabhupada heard that devotee was around, so he called for him. And when he came back, Srila Prabhupada asked him to cook for him. And the devotees were saying, oh, Srila Prabhupada, no, he cannot cook for you, he eats meat. Srila Prabhupada said, I want him to cook for me. And he let him cook for him. And the devotee came back. So I'm very much touched by what you shared with us. And I'm also learning from what you're sharing and what I've been hearing. devotees may do something wrong, but we may talk about it, but we should not condemn them, because we can also become like them too. So thank you for sharing that. I really appreciate that, and I feel very much touched, and also as a reminder for me to learn, to empathize and understand that I could be next. Hare Krishna.
Yep, we could all be next. If we think that, oh, this cannot happen to me, it's just another Maya. It's only Maya because think that, oh, I'm okay. That's Maya. We could be next.
Yeah.
So we have to always constantly be prayerful. Please, my dear Lord, don't let me fall into Maya.
Yeah.
I know, for example, when one of our big leaders fell in the mid-80s, around 80s, and the very devotees who were like in the forefront of condemning that person, they themselves eventually fell down. Eventually. They eventually fell on this themselves. You know. So
it's very dangerous. Well, probably, let's say, let me do this. The error of the translation of Adharme, which was translated as immortality.
yes.
I just shared that with His Grace Mahatma Prabhu, Srila Prabhupada's dear disciple. And he also got in touch with one of the devotees in charge of this service, and they admitted that, yes, it was an error. So, yeah, so hopefully they're going to correct it.
Actually, that verse, it has two errors in that verse. Two errors there.
Yeah,
So,
that Adharme and Marichi Vakia or something like that.
I will let it be BT know because
Okay.
I work with them.
Okay.
So I will let them know about this fault.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I also checked the different percentages of the different personalities. And let me see if I can put it up here. I think it's very interesting that you mentioned that also. From ISKCON Desire Tree, the 64 qualities of Shri Krishna.
Yeah.
It says, Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead and cause of all causes, who has 64 qualities in form. This means that those 64 qualities of Krishna are his full potential, having 100% of his own attributes. However, the Vishnu Tattva and the Vishnu Tattva expansions of Krishna have only 60 qualities.
Yeah.
Or attributes out of the 64, which is 93.75% of Krishna's qualities.
Yeah.
And then Lord Shiva, where is it?
He has 55 qualities for Lord Shiva.
Yeah, 55. I saw it here. Oh, this is 64 qualities. Lord, besides all of the above mentioned 50 qualities, Lord Krishna possesses 5 more, which are sometimes partially manifested in a Lord Brahma or Lord Shiva. So
anyway, those qualities are there. They're all in the nectar devotion. The qualities of Lord
okay, here. Therefore, as a reminder, we can summarize as follows. Lord Krishna, 64 qualities, so 100%. Vishnu Tattva, 60 qualities or 93.75%. Shiva Tattva, 54 qualities or 84.375%. Jiva Tattva, 50 qualities. So Lord Brahma is also Jiva, so he has 50, but sometimes has 55. But we that are not Brahma, we do not have all the 50.
Actually, we have way less than 78%.
Yes, yes, way less.
Way less than that.
Maybe 10% if we are lucky.
Well, I'd be lucky. I'd be lucky if I even have 1%. I'd be lucky.
Yeah, yeah.
So
yes,
you know.
yeah.
So we should not proud of ourselves of, oh, I've got 78% qualities of God, you know.
No. Actually, he gives the reference. Srimad Bhagavatam 1:329.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you. Anyone else with something to ask or to share, please? But we have this question also. Yesterday we were talking about counters, that sometimes the scriptures talk about a particular pastime, and probably that pastime also happened in another kalpa, but slightly different. That is what is the name of Devaviti's husband?
Kadama.
Kadama, yes.
Yeah.
It is said that Kadama Muni was a direct son of Brahma.
Yeah.
But there is also a pastime where it says that Kadama Muni was the son of the Pulastya, like that. So it looks like in different kalpas.
Yeah, that has to be a different kalpa.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, like Jagavakya was sometimes said to be Brahma himself, the Hutu as Jagavakya. So that is it's a different kappa. This is put in a lot. You got many kappa. This is different personalities. They appeared in they will reappear in a particular kappa like that. So that's it's all pertain to different kappa. Of course, when the Puranas, when they narrate all these stories, it is saying that they are taking place concurrently, you know, or I mean, they're just sequentially they're taking place. But no, they are not in sequence. This person, they're not in sequence. But they're just talking, they are talking, this story has been told as they appear within the mind of the speaker, of the sages. But it's not sequence, it's not in sequence. So it's not this happened, this one, and then after that, this happened. It's not like that. So all the leader we read about, it's just been told according to the particular vision of the person who's speaking it.
Yeah. Yeah, I just referenced that, and it says in the Skanda Purana, it is said that Kadama Muni was a son to Pulaha. Pulaha was a son, direct son of Brahma. So definitely it must be a different kalpa.
Yeah, that's
very interesting.
Yeah.
Anyone else with something to share before we call it a day? Another Nidanam, you have something else to ask?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Yeah, Prabhu. So, of course, Lord Brahma is not a celibate, meaning eventually he got married. So, in that case, isn't that he?
It's never Sanyas, it's always Grihast. But all his sons, they all sannyasis. Majority of his sons are sannyasis, like Nada Muni, like the Kumaras, they all sannyasis. But he has other sages, all like Kashyapa, Daksha, so many like Muni. Many also like that, Marichi. So it's not that one has to be a mystic sage. It's not that one has to be a sannyasi. No. Majority actually are grihastas. Majority of all the mystic sages, they were grihastas. Brahmaji is a grihasta, but it's not a grihasta like you. It's not a grihasta like you. You know, it's a great, powerful personalities. Very great, powerful person. They are the controllers of all mystic powers. So his wife, this is Gayatri, his wife, and his wife is also called Saraswati, and then the Gayatri. These are the two words. These are the two words of Lord Brahma. Gayatri and Saraswati.
So yes, Prabhu. So if that is the case, in fact, he was chastised for chasing his own creation, and eventually he got married again. So isn't that what?
He was not that he got married again. He was always married. Not that he got married. He was also always married. And of course, since he was the first created being, obviously he created his wife. because
That's what I mean.
Because the first created being. Now, don't try to speculate how did he create his wife. No, because the scripture will not give you allow you to make such speculation. That what happened to is the first person? How did he become, who became his wife? Because, just like many persons were created just by thinking of them. They were created just by thinking of them. Like all the sons of Brahma, they came out of his mind. All the sons, they came out of his mind. Of course, Lord Shiva actually came from his forehead. So they all came from different portions of his body. Even demons were created for Lord Brahma. They were created from his backside. So that's why they're demons. So many personalities were created by Lord Brahmaji. And then of course he has wife. Just like Lord Shiva, when he wants to have a wife, his wife was created from his body. Lord Shiva and his wife were created from his body. And then of course, then she has to have so many incarnations. But again and again, she always become Lord Shiva's wife. So there are many stories which may not be too important to be speculated upon them. They're just stories are there. We should not be dwelling upon them. Brahmaji, Grihastha, but not an honorary Grihastha. He's a sage. He's the guru of everyone. He's the guru of all the sannyasis. He's everyone's guru. And he's the head of our sampradaya. We are called Brahma Madhya Gaudiya Sampradaya. That's what we are. He revealed the knowledge to us. You see. Whenever all the demigods, whenever they have problems, when the demons are giving them trouble, they all go to Lord Brahma. And then Lord Brahma has to go to Lord Vishnu. The demigod, they cannot approach Lord Vishnu directly. Only Brahma can approach Lord Vishnu directly. The demigods cannot do that. You see. Vara Prabhu, you want to say something?
Hare Krishna.
Vara Prabhu is online there?
Yes. Shimavara is here.
Let us hear from you, Vara Prabhu.
Shimavara Prabhu, are you available to speak? He sometimes is unable to speak due to his service. But Prabhuji, talking about Brahma and back, I think the fact remains that there was no actual sexual connection. It was just a thought he had. Right. It was just a thought.
Yeah.
Yes, I think so. Is that right, Prabhuji?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's yeah.
Okay.
That is correct.
Yeah. Well,
and then when he created them,
yeah.
they started running after him.
Hmm.
So that's why they said that the demoniac, the homosexual tendency is demoniac. So they started running after Brahmaji.
And he had to run for his life.
He has to run. so he had to run for his life.
Well, dear devotees, we're going to humbly request you all. Ishwara Prabhu, do you have like any concluding remark? It seems Ishwara Prabhu is busy with something before we bring this to a final close.
Yeah, I need to just make one announcement. I just released one new book. I don't know if any of you have seen it or not. I think I put it on the platform.
I think, yeah, you shared something.
Ramcharitamanas is a story of Lord Ramachandra. Yeah. Very wonderful scriptures, which I released just about almost a week ago. So some of you who is in America, I would request that you all try to get that book. You can order it from the website, and it can be sent to you. Okay. It's a book. It's full of devotion to the Lord, and it's full of expressions of love between the Lord and his devotees. Very wonderful scripture. A lot of lessons to be learned from Ramcharitamanas. So I just request some of you to try to get it. Okay. So it's not difficult to get from America. You can order it on the website.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. So, dear devotees, we humbly requesting you all to kindly unmute yourselves, and we all chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra to express appreciation to our dear revered speaker, His Grace Ishwara Das Prabhu, for sharing his love and wisdom with us as always. Jai. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Vancha Sindhya Evacha, Patitanam Vaishnavabhyo Namo Namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai. All glories to His Grace Ishwara Das Prabhu ki Jai. All glories to Jagat Guru Shri Prabhupada ki Jai. All glories to Samad Vaishnava devotees ki Jai. Hare Krishna. Hare Hare.
Thank you.